This is the Dreyer Drive podcast, a podcast all about siblings and the people, places, and pop culture that raised us. We're back after taking a couple of weeks off. I was sick and it was March break and we had things to do, but we're here. And in this episode, we'll start off hearing a story from Jacqueline about her new Wendy's theme song. I'll talk a little bit about my new career as a cookie baker, and then we'll share some stories about cinematic moments in our lives. And then we will jump into today's main topic, which is a semi-deep dive into one of our favorite childhood movies, The Flight of the Navigator. And after we finish that, we will wrap up this episode the same way we wrap up every single episode here on the Dreyer Drive podcast, with an unhinged text message from a family member. And this week's unhinged text sequence is all about the struggle of having family members living all across the globe. Let's get into this.
I feel like this podcast, it's spooksy, right? So you can't get too excited around it because then it gets real nervous. So when you started this podcast by being like, I think I can hear you, like you freaked it out and you can't ever do that again. It ran away.
Self-sabotaging in like true Porter form. It's like, wait. Yeah, someone gave me a compliment. Deflect.
I know people hate the way I accept compliments, which is that I tell them, like, they could say, this is like, oh, I like your jacket. I'm like, oh, I got it out of the garbage can. Like, it's not just like, I can't accept it. I have to say something negative to make you feel better about giving the I don't know what my brain is doing there. I'm sure I need to talk to someone about it.
Put it on the list. I do something similar, but I don't do it like I got this out of the garbage. I'll give some really pointless and usually just untruthful information about that thing. So someone might say, hey Ryan, I really like your hair. I could be like, oh, my hair? Yeah, it's really good. My grandfather, he fought in World War II, and when he was in a firefight, he had a helmet that protected his hair because he kept his hair his entire life. I also now have like hair that hasn't fallen out. And people are like, yeah,
got it. So it's like a little fable about your hair.
Yeah, I feel the need to give that for everything. Like I just need to tell a story, and I don't know what it is. Where it's like, and I'm going to give you a story about this.
I think, yeah, you need to give a story about everything. I think we've established that's your fatal design flaw, is that you spit out a story.
It is a bug and a feature at the same time, depending on when you get me and what story you're hearing.
Speaking of stories, I think you saw this on my Instagram, but today I had a really fun experience, and here's my story of the day.
Just one?
Just one for the day. My son, he's home for spring break, and usually we go out of town for spring break, but my oldest daughter's out of the country, and my middle son, I don't know if she knows she's out of the country. And I'm not sad about it. If that's what you're wondering, I'm not sad about it. And our middle son went to Vegas for the week with his friend. Yeah.
Sorry. Did he just get in his Corvette, first of all, which is really
Corvette.
Cool.
They just buzzed on down there through the desert.
Is that actually what they're doing?
No, they have like responsible adults with them. I didn't send my 17-year-old to Vegas.
He went on a family vacation with another family to Las Vegas. Not like, he's out gambling and drinking for the weekend.
He's in Vegas. We're very progressive parents. And so we didn't plan anything for spring break this year because I was like, well, I just had the one kid. Like, how much do I need to plan? This was wrong. I should have planned it completely because he is definitely the kid that requires the most attention. So every day this week, I wake up in just a panic of what am I going to do with this kid? Because if you just keep him at home, he talks a lot. He never stops talking. And I can't do that all day long. So I've been coming up with all these activities. I'm just like the cruise director of the week here for a 9-year-old. Anyway, today he wanted to go swimming. I'm like, fine, I can go swimming. That's great. So we were getting ready to go swimming. We hadn't had lunch yet. And the place closest to the swimming pool is a Wendy's. And I was like, all right, guess we're getting Wendy's. Sad. Just kidding. I love fast food. I would prefer to get Wendy's. I would prefer to get McDonald's, but
it's been established.
we all have hard things in our lives. And so we go into Wendy's. And as soon as I walk into the Wendy's, I realize that they're playing Marvin Gaye's Let's Get It On. And like,
why not?
The song, and it's like the opening bars of, could you demonstrate for the fine listeners at home what the opening bars of Marvin Gaye's Let's Get It On sound like?
No, I will start sweating. Because do you remember?
It's like, wow, wow, wow.
Yes, thank you. You nailed it.
And then immediately Marvin Gaye starts singing about what the song is about. And I was like, what an interesting choice for a Wendy's to just be playing Marvin Gaye in here. And I clocked it and I was like, that's kind of funny. And went ahead. I ordered, got my drinks, getting my ketchup, getting all my stuff. A woman also started choking, which is a complete aside. And I was very annoyed that she was choking because I wanted to listen to Marvin Gaye. I didn't want to listen to her. So we're getting all our stuff down, getting our stuff together. We go to sit down and wait for our order. And when I sat down, it was like the music got so much louder. And I was like, what is going on? There's no way that they just like cranked it up. And as I'm sitting there listening to it, I start looking around and it's getting louder as I'm like turning my head. I'm like, what is happening? And I then realized as I reach in my back pocket that it has been playing on my phone this entire time. And so I'm the one who's been playing Marvin Gaye's Let's Get It On in a Wendy's. It was not, in fact, Wendy's. It was me. And there's probably about 13 people in there, plus the people that were working. And now I can't ever eat at a Wendy's again because I'm so ashamed.
They're tweeting about it right now because Wendy's social accounts are unhinged. What a wonderful little touch to society if we could all just walk around with like a theme song playing in our back pocket, right? Just at any given time. Our mood for the day, we're just playing that everywhere we go. And you can pass people and get what their vibe is based on the music coming out of their back pocket. Think of the friendships that can be formed. I don't know if that's what I would have chosen for my own theme song. Yeah, also, why is that so readily accessible from your pocket?
I knew you were going to ask this. And I knew you were going to understand my heartache, my heartbreak, because it was courtesy of the Spotify mix. It was courtesy of the Spotify mix when it just decides like, you're probably going to like this song.
You really like
and
this.
Plays it loudly in a Wendy's in front of everybody. I'm like, I love Spotify, that. I hate you.
Yeah, Spotify ruins lives. I just got past a note from our producer. Would like to thank this week's sponsor, Spotify. Oh my gosh, we do it every time.
The way I was like, we have a producer.
Naya's over here just scribbling notes.
It's just crayon on a paper.
I got this note passed to me from my producer. I love anyone that this is their first time listening to the podcast to be like, oh, that's a little charming little thing they do in their podcast. We literally do this every episode, and I don't know if it gets funny. I don't know if it was ever funny, but I love it. So
I think it's pretty funny. What you mean having fake sponsors? Because we do not have any sponsors.
We don't have any listeners. That domino needs to fall first. For a sponsor to be like, yep, you guys.
One day, guys, I think it's going to happen for us. I think we're going to get a listener.
Yes, that it is not us.
I'm pretty excited about that.
So you're in the middle of spring break. And I saw on Instagram yesterday, there was this woman who I follow, and she posted a carousel of pictures, and the caption was something along the lines of, here are businesses I want to exist. And there was just a bunch of random ideas in there, but one of the ideas was, before any school holiday, this business sends me an alert that there's a school holiday, and then an itinerary or a list of things that like ideas to try or to do while the kids are on break. Because this happens, you get to the holiday or the spring break or the summer break or whatever, and you're like, no, what do I do? And
yes, I didn't actually plan anything.
Yeah, you either end up doing nothing or just spending a bunch of money because you didn't plan anything. So we're just on the other side of spring break here on our side of the world. And ours is a little bit longer. And Japan does spring break just a little bit better than everybody else.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's actually because the school year changes in spring. So Noah,
and where do you live again?
For anyone who's really curious, I live in Okinawa, Japan. It's like where you live, but better.
It's like where I live,
but better. So
I actually feel like there might be nothing in common between Utah and Japan.
There is a Mormon there's a Mormon temple, and there are a few Mormon churches.
And there's a lot of Diet Coke.
In jumbo gasoline jerry cans. So we change school years in the spring, and it's like a couple of weeks of holidays in between them. So Noah's just started grade 2. And quick little story before I go into an activity that costs money when you don't plan. On the last day of school, I was going to pick her up. I do the drop off and the pickups, and Noah's teacher, who randomly and weirdly reminds me of Annie Gale, in like a really, just like her general appearance and demeanor. Like she's just so level. She doesn't get too excited about anything. Yeah, she's just really level. She even kind of like has an Auntie Gale appearance about her. Auntie Gale gets those like curls sometimes, like the waves. So this woman is very much the same, and just a really nice lady in general. She was leaving the school to go to a different school after the school year was finished. So anyway, I go to Noah's school to pick her up, and I enter the school grounds. There's a gate that like slides open and close. So I pass the gate onto the school grounds, and I hear what can only be described as coyotes howling. I'm like, what the heck is this? And Noah's classroom is the very last classroom on the school grounds. And the way that I usually do it is I walk to the window. I say hi to her at the window because it's a couple minutes before the chime. The chime goes, and then I go meet her back towards the gate at the front door. And so as I'm walking closer to her classroom, the coyotes are getting louder. And I'm like, what the heck is this? Like, it's just like, and I'm like, in case you don't know what coyotes sound, I can do that noise.
Okay, so you can do that sound, but you can't do Marvin Gaye's. Okay, whatever.
No. And as I get closer to her classroom, I stop at the window. I look in. The kids are every single one of them. Sorry, not all of them, but one, hysterically crying. Like,
I thought you were going to say they were howling, no, like they were making an animal noise,
wailing, like, and like the teachers going from desk to desk, like consoling them, like it's going to be okay, like patting them on the head, like a little like side hug, like rubbing their back, because they are all just devastated that Miss Yoko is leaving the school. And Noah never cries in public, like never, like she's like, has that Porter gene where she's like, no, like I just won't give the public the satisfaction of ever seeing me expressing any other emotion except for humor, or humor's not emotion, or anger in public. So, but humor can be an emotion when you have no other emotions. Then we will just loop that right in there. She saw me and immediately like started crying. Like she's like rubbing her eyes with like her handkerchief, but like doing it like she's not wailing, but she is crying. And then there's just one kid at the front of the classroom on like the little elevated like platform part, like just doing wrestling moves, and he's the kid who's not crying. So he's fully just in a different world. Well, every kid is howling, crying that Yoko Sensei is leaving. And even like there's a grandfather who I see every day because he picks up his grandson, and we were just looking at each other like, what is going on? And then I go to the front doors, and these kids are filing out, and all the kids know me because I'm there picking up Noah every day. And some of them are coming up to me, and it looks like they want like a hug, or like, and I'm,
boy.
No, you're not my child. Like I'm not, like they would get close, almost like lean in, and I'm like, and I'm like stepping backwards. I'm like, not for a second do I want anything misinterpreted by any of the other parents or teachers.
Absolutely not. Yeah,
so I'm like, no, I'm like, you should go wait over there for the rest of the groups who are walking to your after school program, because this is not my job and you are not my kid. And then Noah came out, gave her a hug. Spring break starts. And so we had talked about like, hey, we should totally make cookies one day. And I've never had a crumble cookie in my life. Not once.
Okay.
I've just seen them on TikTok. Like, hey.
Okay. Well, cookies. I guess Japan's not that much like Utah because I have crumble cookies every week.
So I just know that they're supposed to be really good. I know nothing else about them. The way that I found out about them was on TikTok because a woman had like discovered, she didn't, I'm sure she didn't, these like knockoff recipes that are supposed to be one-to-one a crumble recipe. And I'm like, I've never had a crumble cookie. They're supposed to be good. Now there's some knockoff recipes that I found. Why don't I make them? Like, let's just whip up a batch. And so I show a list of the knockoff recipes to Noah, because why not? Let her decide. Mm-hmm. And she's like, this one. And it was like cosmic brownie something.
Okay. I am familiar. I
am not. And I start looking at the ingredients. I'm like, oh man, like there are a lot of ingredients on this thing. I'm like, I don't know. We have none of them. Like we literally do not have a single one of these ingredients. Noah's like, it's okay. We can go shopping. We can buy them. I'm like, you know what?
It's all part of the experience, the spring break experience where you have all the time in the world.
Yeah. Day one, so much time. We don't. Unlimited funds, also not the issue. So she goes, we'll just go buy them. So we go to the grocery store and we start finding them all. And I'm like, and everything in Japan is Japanese size. So it's like, you need 400 grams of cocoa powder. I'm like, this package is 18 grams and I'm sorry, $6.
It's a Splenda package.
Yeah. It's like a little individual salt package that you would get at the Chippy. And so I'm like, all right, well, we're going to need 20 packages of this. Like I'm literally like, nothing. And then Seiko's looking at me like, these look like they're going to be expensive. And I'm like, probably not. They're crumble cookies. How expensive could they be? And so we got to the checkout. The ingredients alone, $89 for $89 for the ingredients of crumble cookies. And Seiko's like, this is really expensive. I'm like, it's spring break. Like, come on, Seiko. We do this kind of stuff on spring break. Came back to the house, whipped up a batch of the $89 cookies. They were delicious. I still have some in my freezer. They were really good.
They're probably better than crumble.
If I had to give them a ranking, I would put them above crumble. Okay. This is the most boring story I've ever told on this podcast.
It's a great one. You make cookies.
I could have. Do you know what I could have said? We baked cookies on our first day, and they were pretty good.
Okay, but as we spoke about just 10 minutes earlier, you do feel the need to make everything into a story.
There are coyote references. There are coyote impressions. There is a dramatic story arc of a grade 1 teacher leaving the school.
Speaking of crying, and I love to talk about crying. I have 2 things about crying that I need to discuss with you. First was your story just reminded me of something that happened to me long time ago, circa 2008. So we're really going back in the archives. For a while, Dallin came and lived with me for a few months. He was just looking to get out of Canada for a little while. Makes it sound like he was doing something bad in Canada, he was on the run.
But also, just for the record, this is something that I have a problem with right here. Not Dallin.
What?
Not Dallin at all.
Dallin.
The I lived in or lived with thing when it's such a small amount of time. And I only have this beef because I'm the biggest gatekeeper with some Japan stuff. And people are like...
Of living in places?
Yeah, people are like, I lived in Japan for 2 months last year. And I'm like, sorry, you lived here for 2 months? Did you establish residency? Were you paying into the national pension system? Did you change your residence? Did you have a residence card? You were not living here. You took an extended vacation to a place. You cannot say you lived here.
Here's the thing, though. Ask the person that they were staying with. It very much feels like they were living with you.
The hotel staff is like, they were living it. They would never leave. They didn't leave. For 2 months, they didn't leave. They were living here.
So for 3 months, Dallin definitely lived with me.
But he did establish, hold on, he did, I think, get a driver's license. Did he not? Like a Utah driver's license?
I believe he did. Well, he was there. Dallin. And you lived there. Yeah, so
you established residency.
A little bit. Okay, thanks, Oracle of living places. We've got your blessing now. So
it's the only place in life I have a really high standard.
Okay, so Dallin's living with us,
that and cookies,
and I was and crumble cookies.
Sorry.
I was pregnant with Andrew, my middle child, at the time, and I was like halfway there. I was halfway through the pregnancy, and Justin was gone for some reason. I think he was working or something like that, but it was farther away than usual because I started having what I understood to be like I was going into labor. And I knew it was way too early and I was freaking out. And unfortunately, the only person who was there to drive me to the hospital was Dallin, our youngest brother, who has never been involved in any type of like he is the baby. He's not around babies. So we got my daughter taken care of, and Dallin like raced me down to the hospital. He was freaking out. Like he was like new dad, like, are you okay? Is everything okay? He's like speeding all the way down to the hospital. And we get to the hospital, and because we get checked in at the front and we go up to obstetrics, and we are talking to this nurse, and this nurse is telling me that because I'm only halfway along, there's no intervention they can do. If I'm going to go into labor, I'm going to go into labor. And she didn't even want to like admit me. Like she was like, I don't even think it's worth, like she was really rude. She was like, I don't even think it's worth admitting you right now because there's really nothing we can do about it. And she's explaining to this man, I'm like, And then I can see Dallin looking out of the corner. Because again, Dallin's with me this whole time. You can see Dallin look at me out of the corner of his eye. And as soon as I noticed that Dallin was looking at me, same thing. It's like when you are sick at school and you call home and you're fine, and then mom picks up the phone, you're like, my dress. So when I noticed Dallin was looking at me, I started, I don't know if you do this. It's what I refer to as the Porter chin wobble, which is I lose it in the chin first. So, and Dallin saw my chin start to wobble. He understands what that means. And he's like, oh no, oh no, oh no. And I immediately started sobbing so bad that my actual doctor, who I know very well, came out of his office and was like, why are you making this girl cry? Like, obviously go admit her to a hospital room and like, let's see what we can do. So again, Dallin's following me along. And I don't think they realize that Dallin is my brother. That's the other thing. So he's just a grown man who is with me. So like, I think they think he is the father of this child. So they go in, they get me all set up. Things are going to get a little PG-13 here. They get us all set up. And before even Justin gets there, my in-laws get there. So they race down to the hospital too. They're in the room with us. Dallin's in the room with us. And I'm waiting to be seen. And this nurse, the same nurse who was really rude to me, comes in. And she's asking me all these questions about like, what started the labor? What was I doing at the time? And in front of my in-laws, she goes, Dallin and I are sitting together, and she was like, and when was the last time you guys had intercourse? We were like, what? And I was like, first of all, that's my brother. And then second of all, my in-laws are sitting right there. Also,
and this guy's like, just my Uber driver. Why are you asking this in front of my Uber driver? So I was like, well, that's my brother, huh? And then everyone's like, ha, ha, ha. And then she's like, no, but I really need to know. And then I made a joke because I still didn't want to tell her. I was like, well, how many weeks am I? 20? Well, it's probably 20 weeks ago. And she's like, ma'am. The pen noise.
She's like, ma'am, I need you to stop joking around and just tell me. And it was top 3 most embarrassing moments of my life, I would say.
Actually melted into a puddle. I
would have held the crying back had I known all of that was in the pipeline, you know? I would have been like, it's not worth it. I don't want to do this. I'm just going to go home. It's fine.
And on the other end of this is something hilarious. If you can just tighten that chin up.
Crossed. Now, the second thing I wanted to talk to you about crying is, have you watched all of Love on the Spectrum yet?
No, I haven't watched the entire new season. I just finished the episode where Connor asks his girlfriend to go to England.
Okay.
So I'm only like 3 episodes into the new season.
So I am going to need you to catch up because the second to last episode sobbed. I sobbed.
So I've cried in every not episode, every season of Love on the Spectrum.
I love these people so much.
There's some point where I cry. It's just a fantastic show. I love it.
I know, and I'm so glad. listeners, Ryan texted me the morning it came out so that I could also start watching. And that's what families are for, to tell other people when Love on the Spectrum is back out.
Well,
but I need you to watch it, so I want to hear if you cried at the same part that I cried at.
I'm sure maybe I will. But the reason I'm usually like not on like the day of drop, like when a new season drops, I'm like, I'm on it.
I can hold back.
Yeah. Well, also I'm not usually refreshing my Netflix home screen like that. But we had talked about it in the last episode. Noah had a dance recital. And so she had the dance recital, nailed it. She was amazing.
Of course,
really, really good.
Of course.
She was,
really
one of
good.
two that actually remembered to smile, which I thought was pretty cool. Is the only like, except for the dancing, the only other instruction was like, just smile. And she nailed it. But her and I both got sick immediately after. Like 2 days later, we both had influenza B.
Oh, I had that earlier this year too. It was really fun.
Well, so we went to the doctor. Noah, they run the nose swab. She gets the influenza B positive test result right away. And then I went the next day and I tested negative for it. But the doctor was like, we think you have it. I'm like, okay.
You probably have it. Don't worry about that.
But then I checked the test. The nose swab isn't that accurate, blah, blah, blah. But he's like, I'm going to give you some medicine for it. This will help. Right. And so I get the medicine. I know because I don't know. It's a doctor. I'm the worst. I just don't ask any questions. Like, hey, what is this medicine? What are the side effects? What can I expect after I take this? I'm just like, you're the doctor. You told me to take this. I'm sure it's going to help. I'll just take this. And so I get home, I take it, and an hour later feel horrible. Like 100 times worse than just an hour before when I just had the flu. And so he had prescribed this medication called Tamiflu. I don't know if have you ever taken it?
Yeah, I've also had a checkered past with Tamiflu, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
It was horrible. And for twice a day.
I know.
For 5 days, you take this, and it's literally 100 times worse than the actual flu. I don't know why I'm taking it. And then, so I get on trusty ChatGPT, and I'm like, yo, bro, like I am taking this medicine. What is it? I feel horrible. I feel horrible. And it was like, I send it a picture of the label and like, yeah, you have Tamiflu. And then it gave me the side effects. It said, and I quote, I've got written down right here. Tamiflu is associated with rare, severe neuropsychiatric events, including psychosis, hallucinations, delirium, and suicide behavior. This is also stacked on top of vomiting, diarrhea, fever, body. I'm like, they've prescribed me the flu. You know what we're going to do for you to get over the flu? We're going to give you the worst version of the flu with a little sprinkling of psychosis.
Have you thought about getting the flu?
but I'm trying to get over this. So you're going to give me the worst version
of
this?
No, I think you only make the Tamiflu mistake once, because there have been times past that where they're like, oh, we're going to prescribe you Tamiflu. And I've been like, respectfully, no.
I will sit at home and deal with the regular flu instead of this.
I'm having an okay time.
Yeah. It was.
And it's supposed to be like, well, make it shorter. And then like, so instead of having like 5 days where you feel kind of off, I'm going to have 3 days where I want to die.
And you might I'll
take the 5 days and you might go insane.
You might hallucinate. They also have side effects of irritation and agitation. I was very irritated and agitated the entire time, but I couldn't tell if that was actually the Tamiflu or if that was just me.
Or just your personality.
Very agitated and irritated right now.
That's just the way I am.
It was horrible. Never again. Oh, hold on. Producer just handed me another note. Our second sponsor to be Tamiflu.
Shoot. Gosh, why does it happen every time?
Just can't mention anything by name ever again.
It was flu medication.
it was not horrible.
Not you, Tamiflu.
Yeah. So another very boring story, but I thought I would.
You're just really bringing out some heavy hitters today.
I made cookies and I got sick. That's really like this. We are we're like we're 15 minutes into this, and we've established that you listen to Marvin Gaye. You don't plan anything for spring vacation. I baked cookies and I got sick.
Okay, but I think my stories have been better this
yours have been legitimate stories. Like the Marvin Gaye thing is pretty funny. Like that was pretty funny. Kids howling
Yeah.
like coyotes, maybe.
But we got to
sick,
crying through that.
New season of Love on the Spectrum.
Yeah, pretty good. We like that one.
Maybe there's a reason. There's one thing I do want to mention. This is very much supporting what we're talking about right now, about your stories being great and mine being mediocre at best. In preparation for today's episode, I dumped a bunch of my notes into AI because my viewing notes, we know that we're talking about Flight of the Navigator. And as I was organizing the notes with the help of Claude's first response when I gave it all of my notes, I'm going to read it for you because I think you might like this. The first two sentences were, "Let Jacqueline lead here," period.
Claude loves me. First of all, time out. Claude has a crush on me. He talks about me like I'm his girlfriend, like I'm his dream woman.
Next sentence. "Your job is to nod, agree." That's it. That's what it led with. I'm like, let me tell you all my crazy stories I've got lined up for this episode. He was like, you know what?
And he's like,
let Jacqueline lead. You just nod and agree.
Okay, well, I appreciate you, Claude. You're the only AI I like. Like, I like to think that like AI will take over the world and like we will have robot overlords, but Claude's gonna have a little soft spot in his little metal heart for me.
The first day he gets a body, he's like, Jacqueline, where's Jacqueline? I must find Jacqueline.
She's so funny and I love her stories. Sorry, that's not how robots sound. I love her stories. Sorry, I got there.
That's how they sound.
Okay. Do we want to do a question of the week?
Yes, we do, because that's what we do.
This might help to get your like footing back
Bring me
on.
back.
Like,
and totally redeem myself.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going for. Okay, question of the week. What do you think was one of the more cinematic moments of your life? Like if you could take like something from your life and you think like, oh, that would like play really well on the big screen, what moment of your life would that be? Barring, of course, like the birth of my children, or like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like,
so, like
just something that would play really well.
Cinematic in the sense that like it would be really great if it was in a movie. Like it'd be like a really good like movie storyline, or like it actually like visually.
Either one, you can choose. Maybe both.
Okay,
and
here's
you know
one.
I can always go first because I've always got mine queued up.
This one for the storyline, I guess, in terms of like this would be, in my opinion, like I think this would be like a funny little scene in a movie in terms of like the sequence of events and the way that I handled it horribly.
Okay, so it's a comedy.
It's a comedy. This isn't like, because I could easily go like, you know, like my getting married in Japan was pretty cinematic visually, right? Like the walking with the umbrella, wearing the kimono, like visually, I think is a very cinematic thing. But this one is definitely maybe a lot together, and it doesn't make sense. This one I could see in a sitcom for sure, but could also be a decent little touch to a comedy movie. So I am at my office in Toronto working away on my computer, and one of my buddies comes in and sits down beside me, and he's holding his back and he's kind of giving himself a massage. I'm like, yo, you all right there, bro? And he's like, man, I just wrecked my back at basketball last night. And I'm like, whoa, what do you mean basketball? He's like, oh, I'm in a basketball league. I'm like, what do you mean you're in a basketball league? Like, I love basketball. I wanted to be a professional basketball player. Why have you not told me you're in a basketball league? Like, where's my invite? He's like, you want to join? And I'm like, yeah. Like, is there a spot for me? He's like, our team's full, but I think a couple of other teams need players. And I'm like, bet. What do I need to do? He's like, let me just message the organizer. And so he messages the organizer, and he's like, yeah, like, can Ryan, I've got a buddy who wants to join. Is that okay? The guy comes back. The guy's like, yeah, like, let's get him. The purple team needs an extra player, and Ryan can join the purple team. I'm like, nice. And he's like, you're in. Your first game is tomorrow. Just meet up with the team. Your team captain's name is Sean, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, nice. I'm like, what do I need to pay? Like, how do I? And he's like, the organizer says that he'll email you a payment link. And I'm like, cool. all right, give him my email address. I'm in, I can't wait. And he's like messaging the guy like, oh, Ryan's in, he can't wait. This is gonna be amazing. And so I get the payment link in my email, and the payment link was from a URL, torontogaybasketball.com. And I was like, I'm just want to confirm with you, friend. I'm like, is this the link? It says torontogaybasketball.com. And he was like, that's the one. I'm like, is this a gay basketball league? He's like, yep. I'm like, okay. So my friend, he's not gay. He was in the gay basketball league. The gay basketball league is for allies and gay people. We can all play together. I'm like, all right, cool. And as I'm submitting my payment, I decide that there is no reason for me to tell anybody in the league that I'm not gay. Like, that's what a weird thing to do, to show up and be like, nice to meet you guys. I'm Ryan, the new guy on the purple team. I'm not gay. Ally here. Like, that's just a weird, who does that? You would never need to do that. And that's just not the way you need to do things. And so I decide I'm not going to tell anybody that I'm not gay. And that lasted literally one timeout. Like, the way I announced to the team during the first timeout, like, they called a timeout, and our coach / like captain, he's like, what is wrong with you guys? I'm like, ooh,
and you're like, whoa.
I'm like,
whoa, not cool, yeah, man.
This is not the place, bro. Not this league. Not this league. And he's like, where's the aggression? And I'm like, he's like, why are we not on our knees grabbing all of the loose balls? And I'm like, I'm not gay. I'm like, I'm not gay, guys. I'm actually not gay. And he's like, what a weird time to announce this to the team, Ryan.
Like,
we
I
knew.
Have a timeout for the timeout.
Like,
I'm gonna have to say timeout.
Can I get a double? We're using a 20-second and a full timeout here, ref, because I need to make an announcement to the team. And everyone's like, bro, we know. I'm like, oh, really?
So when I was thinking about this one, I thought about a scene, because this is how I'm like thinking about my life in scenes, where I actually wasn't the main character, which is pretty surprising because I'm usually not the main character. But I'm like, maybe I was the main character, but it was like, you know, when like it's a side story happening to show the audience like how good of a person the main character is. And I'm like
this already.
Maybe that's what it was. And this is, again, talking about crying. And I know that I talk about crying a lot.
You also cry on the podcast. Like,
I cried on the podcast, and I might cry telling the story. But I don't cry at normal. I don't cry. I didn't cry at the birth of my children. I didn't cry at like my own wedding. I don't cry at things that you should cry at. I usually cry at weird things like commercials or Love on the Spectrum, or, you know, just whatever. Why did I cry on the podcast before?
I actually don't remember.
Was it an animal story? It was something around Christmas. Something around Christmas. It was the Growing Pains Christmas special is what made me cry.
Yeah, it was the lines. They took everything, even the socks and underwear, and then you were just a puddle. I
know, and I actually don't need you to say it again because I like
every time.
So there is a woman who is my friend, and she is in her 80s. And I know you think, why, Jacqueline, why would you have a friend that is in her 80s? I'm like, no, she's legitimately my friend. Her name is Cecile. She is an extremely funny person. And during COVID, this is not the funny part. During COVID, her husband passed away. And obviously it was super sad.
Before you go into something like that, can you not say, and this is not the funny part? Because
okay, well, I need people to know that wasn't the funny part, so no one's laughing at the not funny part.
It primes my brain to laugh at it.
Ryan,
I'm not going to. Cecile, I'm not. Cecile, I'm not.
I'll tell you when you can laugh.
Okay.
Cecile's the perfect angel. She's extremely funny. This is not funny. Her husband passed away during COVID. So few years later, this is probably 2024, we find out that she's engaged. And I'm like, okay, Cecile in her 80s, like, get it, Cecile. And I was like, tell me, how'd you meet this guy? Like, I need to know everything. And she said that she was at the cemetery and she was like, you know, making her husband, her past husband's headstone look nice and putting flowers. And she looked over and there was an older man who was doing the same thing for his wife. And Cecile yelled out to him and said, "It's kind of like we're on a little double date right now." And the man was like, "Okay, crazy." And he left. And Cecile thought that she was being pretty funny. And I also thought Cecile was being pretty funny. And then like a couple weeks later, she ran into him again, not at the cemetery. And she asked him for his phone number.
Oh, right.
She just really, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Cecile's perfect. So Cecile and her new husband, Charlie, they were getting married. And she's also always been close to my middle son. And so she wanted Andrew to be there at the wedding. So she invited us to the wedding. And this wedding was in her backyard. And her backyard is down a big slope. So when we walked in, we noticed a couple of things, like the aisle goes down the middle, down the slope, and there's a big weeping willow tree in her backyard. And so the whatever you call it, the arch that they had made was underneath the weeping willow tree. And as they had set out picnic blankets for everybody to sit on. And I was like, okay, this is the cutest thing I've ever seen. So Andrew and I go down there and sit, and I'm just like buzzing. I'm so excited for Cecile because I'm just so happy for her. And so the wedding starts, and she actually has the same family makeup that we do, which also probably plays into a little bit. She has 4 sons and 1 daughter. And they were going to sing her down the aisle. And they're like, okay, like the person performing the wedding was like, and Cecile's children are here, and they're going to be singing the song that their mother walks down the aisle to. And I was like, okay, this is really sweet. And they start singing. I'm going to try so hard not to cry. They start singing.
Marvin,
I can't help falling.
Oh.
Yeah, wow, wow, wow. I hate you. No, they start singing I Can't Help Falling in Love with You, like the old Elvis song.
Yeah.
So her kids are down there singing. And Cecile comes down. She appears. She has this like beautiful bouquet. She's wearing like this cute little like short, like flouncy white dress, and like she looks so cute. I could see what she looked like as like when she was younger. I'd never known Cecile. When I met her, she was like 75. So like I got to see what Cecile might have looked like when she was young, because she was just like blushing and she was so excited. But then, without anybody saying anything, the entire audience that was watching this started singing along too. And so there's a flash mob. 100 people there all start singing I Can't Help Falling in Love with You to sing Cecile down the aisle to her new fiance. And Ryan, when I say I don't think I've ever cried harder in my entire life. I was like, I was inconsolable. I was like choking. I had sunglasses on, thank goodness, because I could not stop crying. It was the most beautiful moment of my life, and it wasn't even happening to me. But I like to think that, like, you know, people can see and still see what's like, oh, look, Jacqueline's a really pretty crier. She is kind of the main character here. But I'm always like, whenever I was like thinking about that, I was like, oh, I really wish like I could put that on film, like Cecile walking down the aisle as like the entire congregation starts singing for her.
Oh man, now I wish I didn't tell my story.
No, yours. It would have been worse if we told them the opposite way around, and then you were like, anyway, I was on a gay basketball league, right?
I joined a gay basketball league. Okay, let me have a 1A 1B. Let me have a 1A 1B, because now I feel really. I feel.
Hey, they can't all be dramas.
No, because if this is the episode that Seiko decides to listen to. Finally, we're 42 episodes deep, and she's like, maybe I should listen to one of these. And I'm like, the time I joined a gay basketball league is just the most cinematic. And she's like not these other incredible moments that we've shared together. So you did actually jog a memory that should have been higher on the list in my brain about when I proposed to Seiko.
Oh, okay. I see. I understand where your brain went there. Yeah.
Right? Like that should have been my moment. So look, let's make some time in this episode. I know we've got to get into Flight of Navigator, but let me explain this one. Can I do it? Can I do it? Can I tell the story?
Scene. Absolutely.
So I decide that I'm going to propose to Seiko while I'm in Canada and she's in Japan. And so we had been going back and forth. Well, she had come to Canada like one time after she moved back to Japan. And then I was going out there like every 6 months to spend like a month or 2 months to just hang out and do dating stuff, trying to, you know, jam it all into like
cram it all.
Yeah, cram it all into like a month or two. And so I decide that I'm gonna propose. I had like snuck in some conversation around like, you know, the engagement ring type stuff, and I bought the ring. I got it exactly like the one that she had wanted with the diamond that she would like and all that kind of stuff. And so before I go out there, I actually contact this like Tokyo theater group. And I'm like, hey, I want to propose to my wife, and like I want to do it in this way, and like, can you be there, and like, can you guys sing this song like flash mob style while I propose to my wife? And they're like, yeah, I think we might be able to, you know, pull this off or whatever, but like, just know like where you want to do it. You usually need like a permit of some kind, and like the police might stop us, and like just want to let you know, like there's, you know, it's kind of risky doing it there. I'm like, nah, it's got to be there. It's got to be there. And so she's like, all right, let me see like what I can, you know, put together. And so go to Tokyo. There's a day where Seiko goes to work. I go and meet this woman. She's like, we've got a few people. I'm just not sure like how it's going to turn out. I'll try to get some more people, but just know that this like might not be like the flash mob style that like you're picturing in your brain. And I'm like, all right, expectations
and
set.
Like, what year was this? Because it was like in the time of the flash mob.
2013. Actually, the proposal would have been 2012. And then we got
right around there. That was like
they were WestJet. Yeah, they were WestJet was doing like, so I'm right up there with WestJet. And so I'm like, all right, like just do your best, and you know, I'll, you know, set the stage so that this all happens the way that I've explained to you, and I'm fully aware that this might not work out like as the WestJet flash mob, but let's try to create a memory for us during this time. And so at that time, was it Kings of Leon? The Use Somebody song was really, really popular. And Seiko and I were just joking around that like, it's like, I've been roaming around, like I was traveling a lot for work. And so there's like a crossover story-wise, not like my go-to genre, but there's a crossover. And so as we're going about our day, the day I decided to propose, I'd already made some like giant poster boards, like Love Actually style, with like a bunch of messages on them. I had already passed them to the woman who's going to be doing like the flash mob organization or whatever. And so we're on the train, we're going to this part of Tokyo called Shinjuku, and I'm like, oh, this song is like really stuck in my head. And I've told her we're meeting a friend from a different part of Japan, and so that he can meet her. And we get there, I'm like, this song is so in my head. Use Somebody, I cannot get it out. Like, I think I must have heard it somewhere at like one of the department stores we were in earlier today, blah, 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 blah. We get there, there's a guy playing the guitar on the southern terrace of this like area in Shinjuku. And I'm like, Seiko, what's the song? Like, that's what's in my head. And she's like, okay, great. I'm like, no, that's the song. And she's like, oh, okay. And then it gets like the beginning, like the like that part. I can sing that part. And so I then start singing it. I join in and start singing. She's like, what are you doing? And she's like pulling my hand, like, Ryan, like, please not now. Like, let's just go meet your friend. And then as it gets into like where like the drumming might start, this guy starts playing this like hand drum off to the side, and all of these people step in. There must have been like, I don't know, like 10 people step in and they start singing. Then this like couple starts dancing and like forms like a semicircle around Seiko. And this woman hands me the cards, and I've got the cue cards, and I'm now going through like, you know, like your curry's the most delicious curry, and like, I love you today, tomorrow, forever, blah, 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 like all these different things. It's like it's so much better than I could have imagined, because this woman was like, I don't know if we're going to be able to do this. And then like finally like get the ring out, get down, do the proposal. She of course says yes, collapses into my chest. I hug her. And then we look around, and there are like hundreds of people around us who've just watched this.
Watching the spectacle?
Yeah, just watch it. Yeah. And so we finished the proposal. I introduced everybody, and then turns out like somebody had grabbed this on video. So there was a guy there who recorded it, and they have the video for time and all eternity. And I think it's been seen by like maybe 50,000 people. I think like 50,000 views or something on the actual proposal. And it was like one thing. There's not a lot of like, Ryan, you did good. That one,
you did good.
That one, I was like, you know what? I think I did all right on that one.
up.
I think I did all right with
that
with the absolute huge alley-oop help assist from the Tokyo Theater Group. They I think it was like the Tokyo Citizens Theater. I'll find like the actual link if they still exist. But that's one that they truly in my brain like actually
playing
cinematic.
over and over again.
It just worked. The music in the background, the way it just kind of worked, I think is cinematic. Like that one is the one I should have said.
That's okay. You said both. It's just that one came after your basketball league. That's fine.
All right.
My number one favorite flash mob from that era.
So you have a favorite flash mob?
Yes, because I think about it a lot because it was to Bruno Mars' song "Marry You."
Okay.
Right. Yeah. And they were doing it out of the back of a van, and I believe it was also a proposal. They were trying to propose to a girl, and they were doing it on the back of the van, and the dancers were like coming in front of the van so that she could see them coming in and out of the scene. And for some reason, every time I listen to that song, one of the lines is it this look in your eyes or is it this dancing juice? And they had two dancing rabbis as dancing Jews instead. And so every time I hear the song now, I only hear it as dancing Jews. And so that's rabbis. My favorite. Dancing rabbis.
It's not my flash mob? I'm also.
Yeah, I mean, yours isn't like you. It's my number 2 favorite moment.
All right. I see.
Okay. All right. And with that, we should talk about our topic of the day, which is 1986 classic Flight of the Navigator.
Yes.
When did you watch this?
So I watched it. So this is our first time recording in like a month, almost like 3
for
weeks
real.
a month, because spring break, and then I was sick for like a week
and Tamiflu.
And Tamiflu. Yeah, I was sick with Tamiflu. And so so I watched it a while ago. I actually watched it with Noah, who was like, sorry, did you hear that?
I did. And I love to hear it.
Naya is our producer, is screaming instructions at me from outside the house, like through the window. And I saw Seiko Seiko just like rushed and like picked her up, like, no, you're gonna like ruin the podcast. And I just see Naya.
They're doing something very important in there.
Very important in there. And I just saw Naya's like huge smile as she's being like carted away and being thrown into a child seat. And she knows. So
for the uninitiated, Flight of the Navigator is a 1986 Disney movie. It is about a boy named David. And as the movie sets up, first of all, I was really excited about the beginning because it sets up with what looks like flying saucers in the opening credits. And they're actually Frisbees and dogs are catching them. And one of those dogs is the same breed of dog that I have, which is the best breed. So I was pretty excited about that.
They did that quite a bit in the movie, right? Where they're kind of like teasing the UFO through like different shapes. They also do it at the water tower, I believe. And it was like one of the things like, oh, you guys, what's coming? Oh, and like, here's some Frisbees or anyway. It
actually turned out extremely like on point that we're doing this right now, because as we speak, some astronauts are orbiting the moon. Yes. So I feel like they're doing their own Flight of the Navigator, as they might say. I also really liked the outfits in the opening credits, and I will post this picture. They are very much what we wore when we were children, which are like really short shorts and like a really thin graphic tee tucked into those very short shorts. And I have a picture of us wearing them. I think it's also the one where you're wearing a shirt that says Life's a Beach on it.
Or the picket line. And it's got people with their finger in their noses.
Yeah, the picket line.
Yeah, there's also lots of windbreakers. I think like the oversized, really puffy sleeve windbreakers. I also thought that
the fashion of this movie was flawless.
Yeah, they nailed it. I also felt like those opening credits, the dog Frisbee contest, a little bit long. It was like
they lasted a long time. We were watching dogs.
Yes. Like, are they going to start the real thing anytime soon?
How would that be?
And Noah did ask at one point. Hold on. Noah did ask at one point, like, why isn't it starting yet? Because like she fully clued into like
so this was a long time ago. Every person who even looked at this movie got a credit, and Hal had to be at the beginning. So David is a very typical 12-year-old boy. It is in the beginning of the movie, it is 1978.
Yes.
And he has his 2 parents, and then he has his brother Jeff, Jeff is exactly like my youngest son. Aaron and I were watching it, and Aaron was like, that kid looks like me. And I was like, yes, he does. So David is asked by his parents to go pick up Jeff, who had been playing at a friend's house. And when he picks up Jeff, he's got his dog with him as well, his dog Bruiser, which is also a very 80s dog name.
But before that happens, he tries to get out of going to pick up Jeff. And he says to his parents, I've got it right here. He's 8 years old, Mom. I think he can make it through a forest alone. And I was like, what?
No.
What 8-year-old? There is no.
Like, David, you're a bad brother. So he picks up Jeff with Bruiser, and as he's walking home, he falls, I believe he falls into a ravine.
That's right.
And he's knocked unconscious. In the movie, he wakes up just a couple seconds later, and he kind of just shakes it off and heads home. When he heads home, he knocks on the door, and an older couple who are not his parents answer. And he's like, who are you? Where's my family? And he's freaking out, understandably, because they're like, we're not your parents. And they call the police. And when the police pick him up and he says what his name is, they're like, that boy's been missing for 8 years. They look it up and they say, David has been missing for 8 years. What are you talking about? So they bring him to where his parents are. Mm-hmm. And they go to the door, and it's clear that his parents recognize him as their son, but they've gotten quite a bit older. Like, they're noticeably older. And he realizes it's 1986 now. So 8 years have passed. He hasn't changed at all. He still looks like he's 12 years old, but everybody else has aged 8 years, right? And so that's obviously freaking him out. It's freaking his parents out. So they take him to the hospital to run tests. What tests? I don't know. I don't know what tests. I don't know what you assume you could learn at a hospital about a child who hasn't aged in 8 years and everybody else did. But when he's there, his brother Jeff comes in, and Jeff is now 16 years old, wearing the flyest outfit I've ever seen in my life, first of all. And Jeff tells him, like, I believe you that you weren't gone for 8 years, but I don't understand how this is happening, right? And so after that, when he's in the hospital, they do some brain scans. And
which are hilarious, by the way.
Imagine what a brain scan would look like in 1986.
It's like 8-bit pizza slices, and it's like, what is...
This is a brain, and the brain actually they look like star maps, right? They're stars, they're constellations and that. And when they realize that, the hospital's like, you know who knows a lot about stars? NASA. And so they fax pictures of this brain scan. Again, 1986. They fax pictures to NASA, and NASA's like, yeah, we want to see this kid real bad. So David's parents are like, yes, go with the nice NASA people. They're going to figure out what's wrong with you. Again, I don't know. I just feel like if I was a parent and it was like, there's something wrong with your child's brain. That's not only that, ask a few more questions. And they also don't answer any of David's questions. He's like, what's going on? Where have I been the past 8 years? And they're like, David, don't ask stupid questions. We'll let you know later. You're just the kid. And it really bothered me that they were not answering his questions. But also, like, yeah, if something was going on with my kid, I don't know if I would naturally be like, yeah, you should go to NASA and figure that out. Like, they've got the answers.
By yourself.
By yourself, with no supervision whatsoever. Go ahead. When he gets there, he's shown to this room where he has all the best toys, which I was pretty excited about. They fill it full of all the best space toys, and he's being confined to this room while they run these tests on this kid. And Jessica Parker's there, which is also very exciting for me.
I completely forgot. I had when she walked in, I was like, what?
Sarah Jessica Parker's here, and also she's weirdly creepy with him a little bit. Hey, I bet all the girls like you, and you're like, okay, Sarah Jessica Parker, calm down.
that 1980s, early 90s inappropriate older woman, younger boy relationship, which is completely okay, but the other way around would be like, I'm sorry, what are you guys doing?
Not okay.
Yeah,
not okay.
I think that's been course corrected over time, but that's Blank Check. Wasn't there one in Blank Check where the woman?
Oh yeah, Blank Check was the worst.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, so I need you to help fill in the blanks here for me, because I know he tries to sneak out of NASA by getting into Ralph, who is a
But he's being
computer who's a
communicated with.
robot.
That's why. He's being communicated with. His brain is hearing something from someplace or someone. And he needs to, he's being drawn to it, I guess, because it's being communicated.
Okay. And so he sneaks out by getting inside of this other robot called the Ralph robot who takes care of food for him. And he's pushed outside. I also love Ralph because he's just like a rolling filing cabinet. And I love the work. I like the work that they did with Ralph. When he gets out of the facility, there is this vessel outside. And the only way I'm looking at, I'm like, how would I describe this vessel? And I can only describe it as like a silver peach pit. Like that's what it looks like to me. What does it look like to you?
Like a genie's lamp, a lantern.
Oh, okay.
Without the base.
No base, and it's like this liquidy silver too, right? Yeah. It's not just silver. It's like it's like moving in. It's kind of liquidy. The people from NASA find out that he's missing and come chasing after him. And right as he's going to get caught, these stairs appear from the spaceship, and he climbs up into them to get away from them. And the spaceship takes off. When he's on the spaceship, few things happen. He starts talking to a computer. First of all, there's the coolest looking like electronic throne that I want in my house.
Everything inside is chrome. Like it's all just like the shiniest chrome everywhere. Like just, and I remember how futuristic, like just how when I saw it as a kid, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the future. Like this has to be it.
Yep. And he starts communicating with what sounds like a robot. It has a very robotic voice. And this robotic voice tells him that he is an alien, and he wanted to see if this alien found out that the idea that humans only use 10% of their brains. So he caught a human to try that out. Abducted a child to see if he could fill the other 90% with like important information that he could use. And then, of course, everything went wrong. And I think did the spaceship crash at some point in time? And that's where it
crashed, and it lost its memory of like how to get home. And David has it in his brain somewhere. And that's why.
And so that's how he's communicating to David, because he knows David has the star maps in his head. And so now begins, actually, have you seen Project Hail Mary yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, see it, because I saw Project Hail Mary and this like 2 days after, and I was like, these are very like of the same, like they're of the same DNA in a weird way. Like I feel like Project Hail Mary is like the spiritual grandchild of Flight of the Navigator. And because there's like, they spend a lot of time on this spaceship together. And when the robot alien tries to upload David's brain so he can get the star maps, it also makes the Navigator take on like childlike, more teenager characteristics. Yeah. And so where he originally was a robot voice, he becomes Pee-wee Herman's voice. And I'm not saying that's not a euphemism. It's actually Pee-wee Herman.
Who,
doing
by the way,
Pee-wee Herman.
Who, by the way, refused credit for the movie and asked for the pseudonym Paul Wall, like Paul, what was it? Paul Mall, the cigarette brand, as his like credit for the movie.
And you're like, bro, if you didn't want people to give you credit, maybe don't do the only voice anybody knows you for.
Yeah.
Like literally, it is just Pee-wee Herman. It's Paul Rubens' his name. It's just straight Pee-wee Herman. And they're spending time together on this spaceship. And my favorite part as a kid always was when he gets to see all of the different animals and creatures that are on the board. Oh my gosh, I wanted one so bad.
Yeah. Noah loved it.
That part?
Yeah, absolutely loved it.
Okay, I love that. So they're being chased by NASA this entire time, like zooming all over the place, trying to get David back to his family. But David asks like, hey, can I be like transported back in time so that I can go to my family back before all this happened? And Pee-wee Herman / the alien is like, no, it's way too dangerous. Like, I can't do that for you. I can only leave you here. So as it's wrapping up, hijinks, fun. He does drop him off at home where his older parents and now 16-year-old brother are there. And he spends some time with them and realizes like he just can't do it. Like he has to go back in time. Like he has to go back 8 years. Has to take the chance. And my favorite part of the movie is when they're like, no, it's too dangerous. He's like, I don't want to do that. Are you sure? He's like, yes, I'm sure. And everything's fine. Like, everything's fine. He goes back in time 8 years. No big deal. And that's basically how the movie ends, is that he gets to go back to before all of this happened. And that is the flight of the Navigator.
And everybody lives happily ever after.
And everybody lives happily ever after. So here are some things that I would like to cover. Some of the history behind why this movie exists and why it exists for us.
Yeah, let's see how I've got a lot of notes on this. So let's go.
Okay, great. So the story is by a man named Mark Baker, who said it came to him in a dream. A scary dream. Scary dream. And it was originally going to be quite a bit darker. Yeah. The people who owned the rights to it were called the Producers Sales Organization. Cool name, guys. And Producers Sales Organization wanted to make it this very dark thing. They didn't have enough money for distribution, so they came to Disney and said, we got this great idea. Would you like to buy this movie? Unfortunately, Disney was in a time of extreme flops, like everything that was coming out at that time. Such hits as Where the Toys Came From, Return to Oz, and Condor Man were all doing very, very poorly. And not only that, Return to Oz has a very dark storyline. And so Disney was like, we'll do it, but it cannot be dark. Like we can't do another, like it doesn't play well. We want to have it like more of a family bent. They kind of went back and forth. By the time they actually went to film it, Producers Sales Organization was bankrupt, so it didn't matter anyway, and Disney got to have their own way. But some of the people that they had brought on to direct the movie were already in place. So the person who directed this also directed Grease, which seems like a really strange leap, I guess. You could go from Grease and what was the other one that he did? Oh, Blue Lagoon. Do you remember Blue Lagoon? Blue Lagoon messed up.
I think so.
Okay. Okay. Well, both of those movies are not for children, and here he was like needing to make this movie for kids, basically a family one. It also needed to use a lot of CGI. And one thing that I read said the liquid silver effect on the outside of the spaceship was so difficult that just 30 seconds of it took 10 days to render. Yeah. So every time they needed to render 30 seconds, they were sitting in an office for 10 days.
Well, it would keep like shorting out too. So they had to, like, when they were re-rendering, like somebody would get a call at the house being like, it stopped rendering. You got to come in and fix this. And so like, it wasn't just like a quick like render. It would keep on erroring out, and somebody would have to go back in and like restart the process, I think.
Yeah. Did you see who was originally meant to be David?
I don't think it was meant to be. I think it was who also auditioned for the role. So Joaquin Phoenix auditioned for the role, as did Chris O'Donnell. And fun little fact, O'Donnell showed up wearing a striped polo shirt that they actually used for David's wardrobe in the movie. Like, we don't need you, but can we keep that shirt?
You go, leave the shirt.
And Joey Kramer, who played David, the only reason he got the role was because he was able to like spontaneously cry in the audition, which is also how the guy from E.T. got and it's like the bar was really low. Like Joaquin Phoenix did not get the role, but this kid who could just cry on demand, they're like, yep, you.
Okay, but this has nothing to do with anything, but the kid from E.T. he still acts, and he's in all of the Hill House Hill House series, like Hill House, Bly Man, or whatever.
I don't know what any of those are.
So good. So good.
Hasn't lost it. Still got it.
Still got it. That kid, he still can cry on command. I don't know that for sure. That might be a lie. So Joey Kramer, I also watched this documentary called After the Navigator. Joey Kramer had like a really rough life after this. It was pretty depressing, where he was very addicted to drugs, but he's doing fine now. He spent 2 years in prison, and now he mentors at-risk youth.
Yeah, and his story arc was pretty incredible. So he finishes Flight of the Navigator. He's bullied at school for being the movie star kid. Sorry, I don't know why I laughed when I said that.
Which is crazy. No, that's crazy. Because imagine kids today, like if a kid rolls up to school and is like, I'm actually in movies, instant king. Yeah. Only in the 80s would you be like, you disgust me for being in a movie.
In like small town Canada, right? They're like, you're not better than us. You're not better. Yep. You're the movie star kid. Like, also, that's a cool nickname. So I would like to be the movie star
thanks.
kid.
I am. Thank you.
He's doing cocaine by age 14, heroin in his 30s, criminal convictions through the 2000s. April 2016, exactly 30 years after the film, he walks into a Scotiabank wearing a wig and bandana and robs it. He does it on purpose because he wants to get arrested because he was homeless, suicidal, and knew that a prison therapeutic community was his only path to treatment. And he said when he got arrested, and I quote, "It was such a relief when I got arrested." Not the best part, because that's not like the best part. But
we struggle with adjectives on this podcast.
Yeah, we really
guys.
do. The wild part is when the arresting officers recognize him from Flight of the Navigator, and they reenact the scene where they quiz him on what year it is.
They're like, we're going to do a funny little bit right now.
Like, get this. Watch this. Watch this. Luckily, there's no, for those guys, body cameras were not a thing because they would have been.
What year is it?
But to your point, since release, he gets clean. He gets his high school diploma. He reconnects with his daughter. He now does all the conventions. He shows up wearing his original NASA hat. And it's not a ha-ha moment at all for this podcast or for the chaos. I think it's genuinely moving that he gets his life back on path. Back on track, and is still connected to the Flight of the Navigator in some way, shape, or form.
He's a good dude. The UFO. So I read that the outdoor scenes were filmed in the United States, but any interior shot was filmed in Norway.
Yeah. So the production company Viking Film, they were the ones that were doing the filming and production. They go bankrupt before. Was it PSO or whatever it was called? So Viking Film goes bankrupt, PSO goes bankrupt, everybody goes bankrupt except for Disney, basically, on the way to making this movie.
Tale as little as time.
So they had blocked funds. Viking Film had blocked funds that could only be spent, like physically spent in Norway, apparently. And like, I don't know if it's like one of those grants that's like the same as supporting a Canadian artist in Canada can only be spent on a Canadian artist on Canadian soil. So the entire crew gets shipped from Fort Lauderdale, Florida to Oslo, and they show up in February in shorts and t-shirts because they literally can't buy parkas in Florida, and they do it all indoors in a windowless warehouse. They never saw daylight, and they had to hire a Norwegian child as Joey Kramer's body double, and the kid didn't speak a word of English, and so everything had to go through a translator. And so the director, Kleiser is his name, I believe, actually heard that the blocked funds, they were never released. Yeah. And so they flew to Norway literally for no reason.
To film like inside of houses.
Yeah.
You're like,
what?
We have to do it here. Yeah. Some like design notes that I thought were really interesting. The UFO was designed by the same person who designed the Back to the Future DeLorean, which I thought was super cool, which makes a lot of sense. And the other thing that blew my mind for some reason was Max. Max is the name of the alien. I can't remember if I mentioned that. Max is the alien. He was a puppet. So the kid was acting against a puppet the entire time.
That's right. And there's something about, I had a note about the puppeteer in here somewhere. Yeah,
I want to hear about the puppeteer. You know those little weirdos, puppeteers.
Puppeteer Tony Urbano. Oh, he's the one who said when they arrived in Norway, he's like, have you ever tried to buy a parka in Fort Lauderdale, Florida? Because they were like, where are you guys showing up?
And I believe it was Tony Urbano who was friends with Pee-wee Herman, who was like, because originally Tony Urbano was going to do the voice, and he was like, no, you need something more, someone who's had more experience, who's more distinctive. And Pee-wee Herman was like, what if I just come do Pee-wee Herman? And they were like, you're hired.
Yeah.
Which is a choice.
He was filming because the Pee-wee Herman movie came out, I think, the year before. And then the TV show came out the year after, or maybe it's reversed. I can't remember the order. But so he was like what's his name? Paul Rubens was peak of his career, rest in peace, peak of his career as Pee-wee Herman at that point.
Doing Pee-wee Herman.
Yeah.
Like, were you going to try to act, or okay, that's fine. You just do it. Okay.
Well, the funny thing is there too, a Disney Imagineer saw the film, heard Max's voice, and then immediately cast Rubens as Captain Rex in Star Tours.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true.
and fun little fact.
And more Pee-wee facts.
His Star Tours deal included free lifetime Disney park passes. And he bragged about that at like Comic-Cons afterwards.
What a good gig.
Yeah.
Okay, I would have taken it. So even without the Norway money, it took $9 million to make Flight of the Navigator. They made 19 million in the US alone, which it wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible. They made their money back. It did not like garner them any more leeway with Disney whatsoever. Disney was like, okay, we didn't go under with that one. That's fine. Please never speak to us again.
Yeah, they almost paid back the money that Disney lost as the Return of Oz or whatever, because it lost 17 million. Is that what it's called? Return of Oz? What was it?
Return to Oz, yeah.
Return to Oz, yeah. So they almost paid back what was lost on that film for Disney. So Disney, over 2 films, broke even.
Yeah, they've also tried to reboot this a couple of times. They've written scripts. They've tried several writers. Jim Henson even tried his hand at it. And then I believe Bryce Dallas Howard was the latest person to be attached to a series, directing a series on Disney Plus. It has not gone anywhere. I think it's definitely one that they should probably just let it be. I can't imagine. If we've learned anything from Willow, it's that please just leave it alone and let us have it.
But this year is the 40th. This is the August will be the 40th year anniversary of Flight of the Navigator. And some people are hoping that that's the trigger to actually get things moving on the reboot or the remake.
But like, what would he even be in a root? Like, I guess I'm at a point where I'm old enough that I'm like, I don't want to see a reboot. I saw the original one. And like, if my kids want to see it, I'll just show them that one because it's perfect and you don't need to touch it. It's fine. Leave it alone. Good.
There's some interesting things about the ship that you were talking about. Maybe not the ship itself, but like, first of all, Kleiser, so the director, his college roommate, do you know who it was?
George Lucas.
Ooh, how did you? Jeez, come on.
Imagine I just knew that off the top of my head. That was very Jeopardy of me.
Yeah, it was.
Who is George Lucas?
George Lucas told him not to do the full chrome ship because you would be able to see the cameras in the reflection. And Kleiser was like, "Nah, I got it. That's why no one's ever done it. I can do it."
Fine.
Yeah. It was rendered on the Funly F1 that had a total of 150 megabytes total hard disk space. One frame rendered at a time. Then they would delete the one frame and then do the next frame. So it was literally like only enough for frame by frame. Yeah. Anyways, so there's this point where they're trying to render the movie. They're trying to do this thing. It's just not going smoothly. Holiday weekend, a 10-day render. The hard drive had a crash on a holiday weekend. No technicians available. Engineer Dave Sieg spent 3 days trying to fix it. And as he's driving to his office every day, he's seeing billboards that literally say Flight of the Navigator coming soon. And he's like
sweating.
Yeah. And the last thing I'll mention is that James Cameron personally told the VFX supervisor that the chrome ship was a direct inspiration for the T-1000 in Terminator 2, who has that same type of liquid metal type appearance.
Like, thank you, boys. Speaking of that spaceship, so there was 2 used in the actual filming. For a long time, one was in like the Disney World in Orlando used to have like a backlot tour, kind of like Universal Studios does. So, and they put it back there so people could drive by and be like, "Oh, it's from Flight of the Navigator." It's no longer there because they don't do that tour anymore.
And no one knows what the movie is anymore.
And no one knows about Flight of the Navigator.
Look, it's Aladdin's lantern.
It's just millennials being like taking pictures. They're the only ones taking millennials taking pictures like this because we're old and that's how we take pictures.
2 buttons. We used to have 2 buttons on our cameras.
But they did repurpose one of them. It's still in Disney World, in Tomorrowland as part of the decor there.
Oh, they're going to tell me it's an Airbnb.
It's an Airbnb. Actually, one just belongs to a collector and we don't know where it is. And I would like that collector, if you're listening, and I know you are, because you just saw this Flight of the Navigator based podcast pop up. Show me where it is. I want to know that it's safe.
Or donate it to the pod.
Donate it to the pod. Donate the pod to the pod, please.
Oy.
I was there. So just wrapping this up, one of the questions I kept when I was reading all through this, it was like cult classic, cult classic, cult classic. And it made me think about how I feel like most cult classics are from this time period between the 80s and 90s. What about the 80s and 90s produced so many cult classics, do you think?
I don't know if it's actually, so I don't know if they're cult classics or they're just like the general population of a certain age remember them fondly or revisit them because we were like the last generation that didn't get bored with the opening credits because we have TikTok in our pocket. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wonder how much of it's truly a cult classic status thing, or if it's just because like we were the generation that grew up with VCRs and then DVD players and watched these movies on repeat because we didn't have a Netflix or a Prime or again Instagram or TikTok or whatever or YouTube or whatever, right? Like, I wonder if there's just more space and less movies being produced, so the movies that were produced carved out a little bit more of like nostalgia or memory or connection or whatever. I don't know.
That, and I also think if you were not of this age, or maybe you do remember this, every family had a finite amount of space and money to spend on VHS tapes, right? So whether you had a huge library or small library, there were these movies that you had at your house that became like mascots, like movie mascots to your family because they were on so often. And I'm sure we could probably name like 10 of them right here, right now. Flight of the Navigator being one of them because we just happen to have it on a VHS tape. So it becomes a classic to us because truly there's no other choice than to watch Flight of the Navigator. It's like something we could all agree on that wasn't going to cause a big family fight, that you could watch on a Sunday afternoon or whatever. And there was, you only had 6 VHS tapes in the cycle. So every 6 weeks it's coming back around.
And if you didn't have it, you didn't watch it, or you didn't remember it. You know who else didn't remember it? Sarah Jessica Parker does not remember being in Flight of the Navigator. I'm not joking. In a 2018 AV Club interview, the interviewer asks her what drew her originally to the Flight of the Navigator. And she answered, and I quote, "What drew me to the flight of the..." Are you seriously asking me what drew me to the Flight of the Navigator? It was a part. I can't even tell you what it was about or who I played.
Wow. For something that meant, well, to be fair, we also forgot Sarah Jessica Parker was in this movie. So I think all of us collectively agreed to pretend like she wasn't in this at all and just focus on Max and David.
So a couple other things I want to call out before we wrap up this thing, because I had some notes here that I thought were interesting / funny or whatever. First of all, they used the R word early on in the movie.
They did.
So like, don't call him dumb. And then someone said, well, how about R word?
Trigger warning if you go ahead and watch this.
Lots of just like peak 80s energy. So like kids in a station wagon, maybe not wearing seatbelts, being dropped off at the Crocodile Mile where unsupervised kids are playing with fireworks. Like, it's just like, what? Like this whole thing is... Which
I do believe you've got a good fireworks story. Maybe today is not the day to tell it, but one day let's put a pin in. I know for a fact you haven't told fireworks story here. So
okay. When we were watching it, and there's the part where David's going to pick up his younger brother, and he's like going through a forest, climbing over railroad tracks all at night, unsupervised. Noah's watching it, and Noah's like, and this is the type of child we're raising. She's like, that's dangerous. That's really dangerous. He shouldn't go there.
And Naya's like, when can I do this?
Naya's running around with like a sashimi knife in one hand.
It's already on a train track somewhere.
I made this note about I think the ship or the robot prior to becoming Pee-wee Herman was the inspiration for ChatGPT, because everything is going compliant and it just like does whatever. I'm like, that's kind of how ChatGPT responds to me. It's like, whatever you want, Ryan.
You're right.
Yeah. I think the one thing that like struck me now is how something could feel so futuristic and so outdated at the same time.
At the same time.
Which is a weird, just a weird thing. One thing I also made a note of is the singular plot, I think, has actually been lost. Like, I think there's so few movies now that just have this one plot. It's relatively simple. You
follow a linear
and
plot.
It's just trying to, the kid's just trying to get home. Like, it's literally just him trying to get home. And it wasn't like that. And this other character has this other tension with this other character. And this now there's a developing love story between these other two. And there's this other like location that no one knows about that's now being, and there's this flashback. Like, there's just none of it. It was like this kid woke up 8 years into the future and he's trying to get back home. And that's it. And
this is me being like, oh, movies were so much better and I'm old and can't understand them. But that's why I
also
really
those things.
I hate movie universes. I hate the idea of a movie universe because I hate when you're watching a movie and a character from a movie pops up and suddenly I'm like destabilized and I'm like, I no longer remember what movie I'm in right now. And that's happened more than I'd like to admit. Every time I see a Marvel movie, I walk in there, I tell them what ticket I want to buy. I say, this is the movie we're seeing. And 10 minutes in, I no longer remember what movie I'm seeing because all of a sudden Thor showed up in Doctor Strange and I'm supposed to know who these people are.
And they're really just trying to like seed the next movie or like trying to and then they have to have a flashback or like it gets to the end of the movie and then they have to like just like somehow explain it all to you through the characters like interactions and you're like, this is the whole movie. I get it now. For people who are interested in like the single line, I don't know when this became this like the cinephile, if that's the word, like podcast.
I truly love talking about movies. Movies is one of my favorite things to talk about, so I could do this all day.
Japanese cinema, and I'm not trying to be that guy, but Japanese cinema has this really like these movies that start and end and you don't really, nothing is resolved. Nothing has been, there's no like clear ending on the hero's journey. They just run the credits and you're like,
it's over now.
It was just a day of that guy's life and it was just a regular day.
You just get up and leave.
Yeah, he just finished work for the day and that's the end of the movie. There's nothing extraordinary happened. There are a lot of movies like that in
Sounds very calming.
They really are. Japanese countryside, revisiting their childhood home, going through a sticker album, and that's the entire plot of the movie. So if you need something that's a little bit more calming, I recommend Japanese films. And one specifically like in the countryside of Japan, very calming, and there's no wild story arc or universe created. It's literally just the house.
We love that.
I do want to just finish with this, the bonus section here for Flight of the Navigator. So the science in the Flight of the Navigator is real-ish, right? But I think the plot is a giant mess. So time dilation from near light speed travel is real. Einstein physics.
We've seen Interstellar. We know.
So that's a thing. They said that David traveled 560 light years in 4.4 hours. That is 2.23 million times the speed of light. So, hey, just scale it back a little bit.
Slow down, throw it back.
And for those people who are really keeping score, if you've already broken the speed of light, Einstein's framework no longer applies. So why does the time dilation work? Right? Am I right?
Am I right? Oh my god.
And while we're on topics like that, the film cites general relativity when it should cite special relativity. Different thing, folks.
Disgusting noobs.
There's somebody out there who's going like, finally they're crossing it off a list.
Someone had the balls to say it.
The other one that was like, meh, when Max goes 20 miles straight up and David floats, 20 miles up, you'd weigh basically the same.
Okay, well, it's good to know.
So for the people that are trying to, gathering the details for the remake, a couple of things that I would like to point out to you, my friends.
Yeah, or for the astronauts that are again orbiting the moon as we speak. Like, keep that in mind, guys.
Yeah. So I think
the science that you learned from Flight of the Navigator may not be correct.
So I think that it's a movie that on paper actually shouldn't have existed because everyone went bankrupt when they were trying to make it. So first of all,
everybody,
it went bankrupt. The star robbed a bank. Like, let's also its
did.
most famous cast member can't remember being in it at all. The most famous person in it, Pee-wee, was like, no, I'm a cigarette brand. Like, don't put my name in the titles.
Don't put my name on this.
But somehow they ended up making one of the most beloved movies of our childhood.
Okay, so my question to you is where are we falling? You know what I'm thinking I might do is start doing a Dreyer Drive letterboxed where we can keep track of our movies and start ranking them. Because I want to know, where does this fall in your ranking of movies that we've done?
I think it's just below Willow for me.
Okay.
That it captures that like special kind of like, it's a little bit more like fantasies, like, but when I say fantasy, I don't mean the genre. I mean, it's a more like fantastical type plot and story. And so I think it's just, it's probably just below Willow for me.
So you're bumping Saturday the 14th out of that, is what you're saying.
Saturday the 14th is bumped down quite far down the list now when I realized that actually there were some
It's actually just
movies.
blank spaces below and then Saturday the 14th.
Yes, and then we don't talk about the other one.
And the one that cannot be named. I've got, don't worry, I still have my list of like movies that we need to talk about, but I'm going to start a Letterboxd account. So you heard it here. I'm going to post the picture of us in our little shorts as 4-year-olds, and I'm going to start a Letterboxd for Dreyer Drive. Those are my things I'm going to do.
And for us, like, no one ever answers these. So if you get to the end of this and you hear this question, please respond. Like, what other movies from what VHS tapes did you own that were on constant
for no reason?
repeat?
Why do I have
sick,
this?
Yeah, you're homesick for the day. It's a rainy day, whatever. And you pop in what? Like, is it The Never Ending Story? Is it Ninja Turtles?
That's
Is
on
it
my
like
list.
what? Yeah, those were on ours. But like, what were you watching at home? What was in your like?
Yeah,
rotation?
because the thing is, it's not like we're like a family who's super into like space travel stories. We're not big Star Wars fans, but we are like dialed in
Star Wars
on
fan.
Flight of the Navigator. Like I'm an okay Star Wars fan. Like it's fine. Do I love Flight of the Navigator more? Absolutely, I do, because it is one of the 7 VHS tapes we own. Yeah. That's the reason why.
Yeah,
it's ours. It's for us.
It's the only reason why.
All right. I love that. We can finally wrap it up with the text of the week. And this text of the week really has to do with your birthday. Hey, everybody, say happy birthday to Ryan. He just had a birthday. And here's the thing with Ryan's birthday is we struggle every year as a family, as a sibling group. We struggle because Ryan lives in the future, as we know. Japan, I don't know. I cannot tell you how many hours it is ahead of us. Me, where I am right now, I want to say like 13. 9? Does that sound right?
No. Oh. We are 13 hours ahead of Toronto right now, and you are what, 2 or 3 hours behind Toronto?
I'm 2 hours behind.
So that would put us at 11 hours difference right now?
What? Oh, it's going the other way.
We are ahead.
Oh, because it goes the other way.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm great at math.
So you should be coming up to what, 11? Maybe 11 p.m.?
Okay. Yeah, it's almost 11 p.m. here.
It's
almost 11 p.m. here, guys.
And it's 2 p.m. here. I'm just enjoying the middle of my day.
You're just so fresh and I'm so tired. Okay, so the problem with Ryan's birthday is that we never know when to say happy birthday to Ryan. I would say more often than not, we always say it when it's your birthday for us, but not for you, right?
Which is selfish.
That's
which
usually
is
the case.
Selfish. Pretty falls in line with the Porter mentality. We're like, it's his birthday on my time zone.
So I was really excited because on your birthday at 8:51 p.m., your birthday, not where. So it was the day before for me. Again, you live in the future. And I wrote, happy birthday, Ryan, for once I remembered to do it early. So you actually get the message on the 7th. Oh, I guess I just told everybody your birthday. Sorry, Ryan's birthday is the 7th.
Great. Now you know my name and my birthday. What's next?
You said, nailed it. Thanks. And I said, did I just ask Siri what time it was in Okie? I did. And then Daniel chimes in. And I had a real problem with this, Daniel. He said, well, it's not his birthday yet. So where you are. So technically you said it too early. And you said, I feel like we had this same conversation last year. And I said,
did.
I am almost positive. We did. Daniel said, maybe we did, but I was right then also, which is a very Daniel thing to say. Then he doesn't say anything. Then at 7:37 my time the next day, I wake up and it just says, happy birthday, Ryan. Hope it's a good one, from Daniel. Daniel purposely, even though we were in a conversation together, having a conversation, he refused to say happy birthday because he wanted to be right about this. And I would like to point out that I am the better sibling because I thought about you and Daniel only thinks about himself.
I love that Dan just creates that line and will not cross it. You will. One thing I do not do.
And then the next morning, he did it like so nonchalantly, like we hadn't just had a big argument about it.
Literally
like,
8 hours prior.
Happy birthday.
And one thing I'd like to note.
On.
Happy birthday.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're back on the mend after your harrowing experience with Tamiflu.
Yes. Please stay away from that. And don't ever touch it.
Next time, say no.
Yes.
Next time, say I'd rather
now I just
die.
ask a question. What is this that I'm about to consume for 5 days, twice a day?
Yeah, I should drink it? I should take it? Okay, that's fine.
As I'm boiling it in a spoon over a candle. No. No.
No. Okay. Well,
I think we're back on. So we will, this episode will go out next week. And then,
we're back on to our schedule of doing this when we feel like it.
When we feel like it. When we got some time in the middle of the day or late at night.
Or late at night. When we feel like it.
All right.
So,
well, this was fun.
Don't count on us.
We might run it back in 2 weeks.
Okay, sounds good. Bye.
Bye.